Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and this is set number 80112, Auspicious Dragon from the LEGO Lunar New Year theme. This set contains 1,171 pieces and will retail for $89.99 in the US, when it officially releases on January 1st, 2024. This set was gifted to me early for review by the LEGO group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like it, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, because I have lots of fun stuff coming very soon, including more early LEGO reviews. But now, with all that being said, let's take a look at this set. So here's the full build of the Auspicious Dragon, and this is just a beautiful display piece. It's not really meant to be played with, like there is a little bit of articulation in a few places which I will show you, but in this video I'm mainly just going to be going through the interesting techniques and interesting pieces used in this build. For one though, I guess I'll start things off by talking about the size of this set and the price. It's $90 for over 1,000 pieces. And yes, this set was gifted to me, however I do have to say you do get a lot here. I was expecting this build to be quite a bit smaller taking it out of the box, but now having it all built up, I see why it is the price it is, and this just looks beautiful to display on a shelf. I've reviewed a lot of different LEGO dragons during my time here on YouTube because I do a lot of Ninjago and Monkey Kid stuff. And while this dragon's a little bit different than those because this is more of a traditional Chinese dragon, it still uses a lot of similar techniques and does a very good job at them. So now I guess I'm going to move the camera up close so you guys can see some of the more interesting details of this build. The thing that surprised me most about this set is this base that's built on top of. It's genuinely just really nice and kind of unlike anything I've ever seen before from LEGO. Monkey Kid does do similar things every now and then, but I don't know, this does make for a very, very nice display piece. You can see, of course, this is all meant to be watered down here, and they have like these rounded edges all around the sides. But then we also have like these little crashing waves, and I love the pieces they used for these. This one's my absolute favorite. This is an unprinted Unikitty tail, and it just works so perfectly. It's got that whimsical, very smooth and flowy vibe, but it also just fits in so well with everything else. And I like that they broke up the build too, using the trans blue as well. Of course, the dragon itself is on this rock platform, and once again, the shaping here is incredible. It really doesn't feel artificial. Like, obviously, yes, it's all LEGO pieces, but there's a sort of randomness to it that also feels very intentional, and it just feels like this could be a real stone structure. One of my favorite parts about this set is the clouds coming off the sides. You can see there's a normal orange one as well as a bright orange one. And these are recolors of the Monkey Kid cloud piece, which is becoming a Monkey Kid set since, what, 2020? And I believe that piece has only been recolored once in trans purple. So getting two all-new colors in the set is really cool, and both of them are super useful here. You get quite a few too, like they're used on both sides of the build, and they do such a good job of just conveying the whimsy of everything. But now we get to what's probably the most exciting part of the build, and that's the dragon itself. And the dragon's of course perched on top of the rock, and if you wanted to, you can remove the dragon entirely from the rock. However, because this is meant to be a display piece and the dragon's standing on top of this, there's actually little Technic pins to connect the dragon's feet to the stone structure. That being said, there's a little bit of give in them, right? So you can move the dragon around a little bit. The Technic pin can move back and forth. And you can see the feet and legs of the dragon are connected on a ball joint, so there isn't a ton of room there to move it. This is the same with the front leg right here too, like there is a little bit of move there. And the back leg on the other side is pretty much the same, though I think it is slightly different because the shape of the rock is slightly different. The only leg that isn't connected is this one right here, and it still has a very similar build to the other three. But you can see this one holds an orb in its hand and it still connects on a mini ball joint, but because it's not pinned to the rock, you can't actually move this arm around. The other legs are detachable, like you can take them off the Technic pins, and I'll show you the dragon fully detached later in this video. But of course, if you're displaying the set on the shelf, you probably want to display the entire set together. The feet on the dragon are very small though, which is in line with traditional Chinese dragons. And then the body is like very serpentine, right? You can see it sort of flows, it goes up, it comes down, and it's very thin. But the level of detail here is incredible. For one, this all new part right here, you can see this is used all over the dragon's body, even up into its neck. And that's of course just a Next to Knight shield piece, but that's a printed version of the Next to Knight shield piece that's all new for this set. And you can see it just has printed dragon skulls on it, which is such a useful part to have. And you get so many of it in this set, and every single one looks fantastic. They really go together so well. I love some of these angles too, like the way this one transitions into this one. It genuinely feels quite organic. The dragon has like three little tendrils for a tail at the end, and you can see the back end of this tail connects on a clip, and you can rotate that around a full 360 degrees, as well as move it up and down a little bit. The body, just like the legs, has a little bit of give, right? So you can get some motion out of it without detaching anything, but it's not like any significant motion. You're not like drastically changing how the dragon moves. Rather, you're just getting a little bit of life in it, right? It's not completely static. That being said though, it is still sturdy, like nothing's falling off here, which is the perfect balance in my opinion. I don't want the build to be too rigid or else it's not fun, but I don't want it to be too loose and then it's just falling apart. This is exactly what it should be. I love that a lot. There's a pretty consistent pattern along the dragon's back. It uses a combination of these cheese slope pieces as well as these tooth pieces, and then we also have these leaf pieces and tail. These all combine together to create a really interesting design for scales, and especially like when the dragon's back is rounded like this, it looks so good. I will say the one part I don't like, and probably my only real criticism with this set, is this part right here. We just have open open studs, and I think that's just a little bit ugly. I feel like a plate would have looked better there. It would have been a little bit harder to implement, but I don't know. It's the only part of the set that's like that, and does stand out a little bit in my opinion. Maybe even a jumper piece with like a single cheese slope right there would have helped. I'm not sure. But yeah, just something I wanted to point out because it is something to be aware of. Definitely does not ruin this set by any means, but it is like the only part of the set where I'm like, that doesn't look the best. Coming around the front of the dragon, very smooth transition for the chest right there. Again, those Nexo Knight shields work so well. It does get a little bit gappy up here, like you can see some of the inside parts, for example, that yellow right there and a little bit of lime green right there. That's not the biggest deal. I kind of wish that was tucked away a little bit better, or maybe that the colors matched a little bit more, but I also don't think it looks terrible. Like, the colors still fit in enough. It is just a little more obvious than some other parts of the build. We have more of those tooth and leaf pieces along the dragon's neck, and again, more of those scale pieces. Again, I want to take a moment to appreciate how organic this dragon looks. Like, obviously, LEGO is very blocky, so sometimes it can be hard to create an organic creature, but the combination of all the different plates and tiles and everything, this is a very nice looking neck, and I especially like how those two pieces right there go together. Really, really nice. And then finally, of course, at the top, we get to the dragon's head, and something interesting about this isn't really a criticism, more just an observation, but the head on this dragon is extremely similar to the head on Maze Guardian Dragon from the Summer 2023 Monkey Kid wave. The nose is exactly identical, the bottom jaw is almost identical. Once we get towards the back, it does change up a little bit, but for a brick-built dragon head, I don't know if I've ever seen two others that are like this similar like this. That being said, that's basically the only similar part between those two sets. And obviously the colors are different between the two, but it was something I thought was worth pointing out. We do have an all-new printed eye piece here, which is very cool. You can see it sort of emulates those leaf pieces. And I really like the use of the mech fingers to be like eyelashes and little horns. The head, unsurprisingly, isn't a ball joint, so there's a little bit of articulation there. You can move it side to side, down, and up. And then there is these four little tendrils that come out the back. Two are on mini ball joints, two are on clips, and there is a bit of articulation there too. Now let me quickly detach the dragon so you guys can see it without the base, as well as how the base looks without the dragon on it. All I have to do is just pull the feet off the individual Technic pins. And there we go, there's the dragon completely separated. Not gonna lie, I feel like it doesn't look as good down on the base. I feel like the base really enhances everything. But I am happy that this option's here. Articulation is now about what you'd expect. Like, yes, the ball joint can move the foot around. There's still not a ton of articulation in the body, but there's a little bit more when it's detached. So you can get some, like, wackier poses out of it. And you can, like, kinda try to get it in a walking pose, but its feet are really tiny and its body's really big. So honestly, the base just helps to stand it up. That being said, you could just attach only 2 feet to the base if you want to, like, repose things and have, like, another foot loose, which is definitely not a bad idea. And then here's a look at the base with the dragon removed. You can see there's lots of studs up here, so if you wanted to pose like minifigures or something up here, you could. It is genuinely just a really nice terrain piece. But yeah, of course, the two parts of the set are best when they're together, not apart. And so, overall, what are my thoughts on this set? I genuinely think this set is really good. Now, I am someone who typically prefers, like, sets that go with minifigures or come with minifigures, and this is not that. I guess it could fit in with minifigures, right? It's a dragon. This is probably in scale with a LEGO minifigure, but it's more just meant to be a display piece on its own. That being said, even though it's not typically my type of set, they did a really good job with the whole display aspect of this set. The fact that the stand is such a prominent part of the build, I think, does a lot for me, because I do have plenty of dragons, but I don't have a lot of dragons that look this nice. And I truly believe that, like, rock formation and the water underneath it, that's what really ties the set together. That being said, though, the dragon is nothing to scoff at. The dragon itself looks beautiful. I love the really unique shape of its body, the printed scale pieces, as well as the brick-built scales along the back. Genuinely so much to really enjoy here. And then when we talk about the price, I think the price is alright. Like, 1,100 pieces for $90 is objectively, like, pretty good. That being said, there is, like, no minifigures or anything, so that is something to keep in mind. So I know this set's not going to be for everybody, especially with that price tag. But if you're someone who really likes to collect, like, nice LEGO display pieces, this is a really good one to pick up. It truly feels like it's made to be looked at, it's made to be put on a shelf and appreciated, and it just does a beautiful job at that. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!